Hey YouTube. Well, I need to take a look at my wife's seat and see why it's making so much stinking noise when she rides. So this is her third seat. Let me show you what we've bought in the past. So this is the Pikaroo seat here. She had problems with these springs coming loose out of their little mounts here that hold them in place. And then on the first one, it actually came out of this plastic holder here. So I put it back together, but I decided that she really needed to look at a different seat. So she went with the Cloud 9, and I can tell you right now, the seat's broke. It looks goofy to me. It looks like it's leaning over on one side. Maybe it's just me looking goofy. But it clicks and makes noise every time she rides it. I guess it's just the way it looks. So, as you can see, I have a good level of grease on there. So we're gonna hit a screwdriver and check and see if any of this stuff's loose. Since we know it's no on it, it's not. Pretty sure it's not the seat post is under lubricated, because that will click too. So I've noticed that a lot of people are having problems with the crank arms being bent on their bike, and you can straighten these out. These are non-forged, meaning that they're just they're either they're probably poured into a mold and then the casting is removed, because the flash is removed, because that's what it looks like to me. Is they're not cold forged like they should be. Even though I think it says it's cold forged. I don't know why I put my glasses on. I really don't need them. I don't know what it says back there. It says it's cold forged, but I have my doubts. For the simple reason is, typically a cold forged aluminum crank arm is almost impossible to bend. I've seen them go off cliffs, I've seen all kinds of stuff. So either the quality of the material they're using is that bad, or it's just crap. I bent mine, this side here, I ran into a post and I bent it and twisted it. And I did a video on it, and if you look through my YouTube videos, you can find it. I'm like amazed at how easy that bent. So, I guess I better go find me a screwdriver. I was gonna use my impact driver, but yeah, probably end up stripping the screw head out. So that one's tight. one's tight. Not a little loose. But these shouldn't make any noise anyway. That one's stripped. That one's tight. That one's tight. So let me grab a set of Allen wrenches here. So these seat bags, after 2 days, they did get kind of wet inside. So keep that in mind. Although you're not going to get any moisture inside the bag in a short ride, you might in a long ride. Must have an Allen wrench in the bag somewhere. And it's not loose. So this is a different kind of seat clamp. Some of you bought those Zoom ones, and I'm going to scoot this her seat back a little bit on this clamp. Maybe that's part of it, is it's clicking. So, and in order to adjust the angle on these, you either loosen or tighten whichever bolt you want to change the angle on. So it's infinitely adjustable to a point. Well, I guess it's not infinitely adjustable, but it's more adjustable than a normal. And I tend to seek these out when I buy seat posts. I like how positive. It doesn't rely on a ratcheting mechanism to keep the seat in place. Yeah, some of them, you sit on it hard enough, you'll ratchet the seat and you'll change the angle. So, still looks like the seat's leaning to one side, but that's just an optical illusion. We went out for about a 12-mile ride tonight. Now, I'm beginning to wonder if the clicking's coming from this pedal. Let me just get you down here. See how much play that has in it? It's not much different than when it was new, but this just rides on a plastic bearing. If you try to pull this cap off, there's no bearing in there. It's plastic. They're cheap. A normal pedal would have either a needle bearing or a couple of ball bearings, one here and one here. But these don't have anything but a plastic sleeve right on, and it's really loose. This one's more loose than that one is. And I told Karen it's about time for her to get a new set of pedals. So I guess we're going to have to put that on the list. Now, I can wipe some of this grease off, but you want to leave the grease that's around the seat clamp there, because that grease is going to protect it from water seeping down in the seat tube. So we got to look at getting her some new pedals. I don't see anything that would be causing her clicking noise other than the pedals and the seat, which I readjusted to see if I could solve that. She really loves her new handlebars. I wish they were swept a little more, but they do what they're supposed to. If I wanted to, I could take the ones off the bicycle that is in back there. It has the same size clamp diameter as this one does. Most modern bars are 31.8. These happen to be 25.4 clamp size. And the bar diameter where all this stuff clamps on to is 22.2, which is most stuff is 22.2 or 7/8. If you're into the inch thing, that would make this a 1-inch clamp. So people are wondering about the size of the bike. I put in a comment on a Facebook post. I joined a electric Facebook page. The smallest inseam size that you could ride this bike with I would say comfortably would be 27.5. But you might get a little smaller inseam. That's going to be the main factor for seeing if the bike will fit somebody, is knowing their inseam size. Yeah, the frame, if they're short enough, the frame may be too long for them, but you can fix that. You can replace these swept bars with more swept, some that curve around so that their hands are back here. If it was my wife's other bike was easy to get to, I would bring it out here and show it to you guys. Got the garage open. I've been in the process of starting to clean it out. Trying to get some of the moisture from where it seeped into the garage underneath the seal. It's no longer there. Get that bit dried out. So if you have to replace these crank arms, I would suggest going with something that isn't Pro Wheel branded. Something that's a little better quality. They make some out there. Light speed might be a little better. I'm not sure exactly what would work best. I'm just looking at the cable routing on the bike on this back brake. So it comes up here, got a sharp bend here, then another bend here where it goes through this, another bend here, and then it goes through up here. These are all okay. The problem is right in here. So when I replace this cable, I'm not going to use these eyelets on the frame. I'm going to bring this cable up around through here and zip tie it, and then I'll zip tie it up here somewhere so that it goes up in the air and comes more gradually down at that brake. But so the next step is to get her different pedals. You're not going to find any quality folding pedals, then I wouldn't really even worry about it. You can still fold your bike with the pedals, with pedals that don't fold. It may take a little more room, but our totes that we bought, my bike fits in it fine with the non-folding pedals. So that's basically all I can do until I get it out and replace those pedals. We're getting down to the wire on what could be possibly causing the clicking noise we're hearing. And I'm pretty sure it's either the seat or the pedals. Everything else is tight. Yeah. It could be coming from the bottom bracket, but I don't think it is. If that's the case, it's going to require me to pull the whole bottom bracket out and re-grease the threads inside the bottom bracket. It should have a plastic cup bottom bracket in there, and I'm thinking it does. This is a plastic cup over here, and typically these aren't. I'm pretty sure this just snaps in there, but like I said before, I ain't messing with it unless I absolutely have to. Have to pull the crank arm, and before you try to take that off anyway. So the upgrades that we've done to Karen's bike are pretty much limited to the seat post and the handlebars. The seat post that I bought here is longer than one that came with it. Not much longer, but it's still, the one that came on this bike was 350 millimeters, and the one that comes on the XP is 500 millimeters long. It's an oddball shaped seat post too. It's closer to 31.8 than it is 31.6, and Lectric's telling people it's 32 millimeters. Well, it isn't that either. When they get these frames, when they build them, and they do all that work on there, what they end up doing is they run a ream through here to make sure that it's smooth enough for the seat post to go in there. And sometimes that ream is over aggressive, and sometimes it isn't. So I think that's why they're ending up with oddball seat tube size. Now I should go grab mine and see what it says on the seat tube itself, or Karen's. Oh, I see her handlebars. So this is the original seat on it, and I really did like this seat, but it ultimately when I hit that post, I tore it up, and so I decided I would just replace the seat and the seat post at the same time. The type of grease I'm using is white lithium grease, because it won't typically ruin your clothes if you get on it. So even this says 31.8 on it, and that's what we bought for a seat post. It's 31.8. So, and it this really fits loose in the seat post. So I think it's a matter of them over over reaming the seat post. At least I believe that's a 31.8. Yeah. So 31.8 is the seat post size, even electrics. But there's some people that are saying that they measured it as 32, and I guess that's the way they measure it, but it's actually 31.8. You have to have some play in there so you can get the seat out. If you're forcing the seat tube apart at the the split there, then you're going to eventually cause it to crack. So 31.8. And with the XP, you may need up to a 500 millimeter long seat post if you're 6'5" or something like that. And it has a minimum insertion line, meaning that at least this much of the seat post has to be inside there. And that's a lot of seat posts to be sticking out. In my case, I think I rode it most of the time right here, which was way above the 10 on the seat post. So the seat, how you I have videos out there of how to set the proper seat height on there. Just reference those if you need to figure that out. But I think I'll call it a video. I've rambled long enough. Can't think of anything else I need to do to this other than plug it back in. She still has some kind of brake noise going on back here, but it's so minor that I'm not going to worry about it. And she told me to quit playing with her brakes. She says, I just get used to the way they feel, and then you change something. Yeah, she's got about half a lever there. So let me put this back in the garage, and then I can close the garage up now. Going camping in a couple weeks. The plan is to take the bikes because we're taking the trailer, and the doggy can stay in the trailer while we're out riding our bikes. We had a trailer for her, a bike trailer for her, but she couldn't see her mom. It was on like Donkey Kong, so we're just going to leave her in the trailer with the air conditioning running. She'll be fine. So you guys have a great day. I'll be doing some videos this week on some maintenance things. I'm going to clean Karen's bike up really well. I'm going to check her front wheel bearing, make sure that's all good. She has 780 miles on hers. I have 1,620 something on mine. I did not go for a ride yesterday. The tires have 420 miles on them, and they're still showing little or no wear. The knobs on the tires are starting to round off a little bit, but I don't think the depth of the tread has changed any. So by the time I had 400 miles on my bike, I started to worry about whether or not I would even make it to 1,000 miles with the tires, the Chow Yangs. These are Chow Yangs on this. Some of you end up with CST, but to me, both of them are crappy tires. Part of the measure of how good a tire is by how the carcass, how the tire's made. These have 30 threads per inch. That's the lowest you probably find in a tire, period. Those on my bike have 72, and they make a version of that that's foldable, the V Tire Mission, that has 120. Those 120 TPI tires are good enough for to go tubeless on your rims. Now these are not tubeless rims, and nor do I think you could make them tubeless ready. it requires you to seal the rim so no air leaks out of it, and I don't think you could even do that with these. They'd leak around the spokes. So, have some upcoming videos. We'll get some ride videos in. I'm working on getting a better camera mount so it doesn't look so vibraty. I might use my 4K camera that I have for my drone and mount it on the bike, and it's also a stabilized camera, so it'll be nice smooth footage. But I haven't decided whether I'm going to do that or not. Yeah, I have a Q500 4K that you can take the camera off the drone, and it has a handheld camera holder, and the video quality's good enough that there's a few people that have done it to do music videos for MTV. So it's got good quality. I think it'll do full HD at 120 frames per second. So we'll see. I also have a regular digital camera, a Canon 7D, which is pretty much a pro level camera. But the video, it's an older model, and the video, it doesn't focus when you're doing the video, so you have to keep checking the camera to make sure it's still in focus. Likewise, once it's in focus, it doesn't go out of focus. So, well, I rambled on long enough. Her bike is holding up well, other than the occasional noise it makes, and it doesn't bother her, it bothers me. That's the only reason I'm trying to chase them down. I wanted to make sure there was still enough grease in her seat tube, and there is. I could spray some grease on some of these mounting points there, but it doesn't seem to be. I don't know why it's clicking. Well, I'm going to call that a video. You guys have a great day. Please subscribe. Get out there and ride your bike, even if it's a mile or two every day. Just get out there and get on it, and any exercise is better than no exercise.